Good afternoon and welcome to Boston Asian Radio and TV English Daily News today. I am your host, Lei. Here's a look at the top stories making headlines today. $10,000 reward offered for information on man convicted in 2005 rape. Mayor Michelle Wu rejects city council budget. Explosion on Boston boat injures 2. Public health warning issued following sewage discharge into inner Boston Harbor. Boston dual language high school plans expansion for younger grades. $10,000 reward offered for information on man convicted in 2005 rape. A man who was convicted of raping a coworker at knife point in 2005 remains at large after failing to appear at his own trial, according to Massachusetts State Police. Tuan K. Lee, 54, was convicted in 2007 with aggravated rape, home invasion, kidnapping, armed burglary and armed robbery while masked, among other charges. He faced a possible life sentence, but state police say he didn't appear at his trial. He remains at large more than a decade later. Lee is considered a violent sex offender. He may also go by the names Doonji Lai or Dickie Lee. His last known whereabouts were in Quincy, Massachusetts. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact Massachusetts State Police or U.S. Marshals at 1-833-677-3171. There is a reward of up to $10,000 for information that leads to his arrest. Mayor Michelle Wu rejects city council budget. Hundreds of thousands of dollars the Boston City Council set aside to give raises to municipal police officers will not be used for that purpose, Mayor Michelle Wu told the council on Monday, dismissing their change to her budget proposal as a clear-cut violation of the city charter and state law. In the one-page letter, Wu flatly rejected a council move to redirect about $585,000 from the city's property management department to a pay bump for officers who provide security services at buildings such as City Hall. Wu told councilors that their effort would violate the city charter because it inserts the council into collective bargaining negotiations, which is prohibited. Both the city and the union agree that salaries should be adjusted, but the parties have yet to reach an agreement on the size of the increase, Wu wrote. The council cannot use the budget-making process to dictate collective bargaining. Explosion on Boston boat injures 2. Two men's boat exploded in Gloucester Harbor at around 9 a.m. on Monday morning near Bullingman Bridge. When firefighters arrived on the scene, the ship was engulfed in flames. 2 men and a dog were on board when the explosion occurred. According to reports, they jumped from the boat and swam to shore, as did the dog, who was rescued by a passing boat. Emergency crews pulled the 2 men from the water and rushed them to a nearby hospital. Firefighters are still investigating the cause of the explosion. According to reports, the 2 men had just filled the boat with about 85 gallons of fuel before it exploded. Public health warning issued following sewage discharge into inner Boston Harbor. Boston health officials issued a public health warning Monday morning following a sewage discharge into the upper inner harbor. The discharge occurred upstream of the North Washington Street Bridge, which links Charlestown to the north end. Sewage discharges like this one occur during heavy rains, when rainwater mixes with wastewater and flows into nearby water bodies. The sewage in this case was treated, meaning some contaminants may have been removed. The overflow happened on Sunday afternoon, officials said, and lasted over 6 hours. Boston got about 1.2 inches of rain that day, the most precipitation the city has seen in a single day this month. The warning will lift Tuesday evening, 48 hours after the end of the overflow. While the warning is in place, residents are advised to avoid all contact with the inner Boston Harbor. Boston dual language high school plans expansion for younger grades. More children in Boston public schools will soon be able to enroll in the district's bilingual program. Margarita Muniz Academy, a Spanish language high school, is working to expand 7th and 8th grades by next year so students graduate with stronger bilingual skills. "We want you to be here," said school principal and founder Dani Vasquez. "It's very important, it helps more kids. We have students who are learning English for the first time," Vasquez said. "There are also some students who are learning Spanish for the first time. It is our mission to help these students." While the current plan is to include 7th and 8th grades in Muniz Academy's bilingual curriculum, educators hope to see more multilingual schools in Massachusetts that include Chinese and provide more for all grades. Language learning options. Stay tuned for more updates on Boston news as it develops.